No, seriously, how the hell did this not come out before Father's Day? F1 is the new film from Joseph Kosinski, starring Brad Pitt, Damson Idris, Carrie Condon, and Javier Bardem. The film sees Pitt as Sonny Hayes, a veteran race car driver who suffered a life-threatening crash early into his career and has been working as a nomadic racer for hire ever since. He's brought back into the world of Formula One by an old friend in Bardem, a team owner who is desperate to win just once in the final 9 races of the season. But for that to happen, Pitt will not only need to confront his own demons, but learn to work with a rookie prodigy in Joshua Pierce. From a production standpoint, the big question surrounding this was whether or not the same team that brought us Top Gun Maverick could pull off another major hit. Only this time, they don't have the nostalgia of Top Gun franchise, Tom Cruise, or the once-in-a-generation timing of effectively revitalizing the summer blockbuster scene after a global pandemic. What they do have is a massive budget, the support of Apple's film division, which is still trying to make an impact, a sport that has seen its popularity explode on a global scale, and another aging star looking to prove they're still a major box office draw. Yet despite so much seemingly riding on this film, it actually plays things right down the middle when it comes to its story. Pitt plays Sonny with the exact kind of laid-back swagger we've seen from him many times before. If you told me this was just Cliff Booth from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I'd believe you. And you already know after about 10 minutes that he'll eventually whip his pit crew into shape, win over his coaches, have a relationship with the one age-appropriate actress in the cast, find common ground with Joshua, and let his love of racing overcome the rotten hand he was forced to play as a younger man. And yes, it's another story about a seasoned veteran teaching the next generation how to succeed, where the thing they're doing on screen is a not-so-subtle metaphor for how to be a movie star. In that sense, it is Top Gun Maverick all over again, only this time it's race cars with a little bit of Ted Lasso sprinkled in. But just because it's predictable doesn't necessarily make it bad, and the film more than makes up for its by-the-numbers story with some of the best racing filmmaking in recent memory. With each race, Kosinski and cinematographer Claudio Miranda hit the audience with constant waves of information, using a rotation of cameras attached to the car, Steadicam, and drone shots, along with narration and graphics to make sure the audience always knows where Sonny and Joshua are in any given race, and why their strategy either is or isn't working. In lesser hands, these races would have been hard to parse, but even a casual racing fan like me, who never watched Drive to Survive or sat down to watch a Formula One event, was able to follow along almost immediately. And all the while, it never lets you forget that these guys are flying around at 200 miles an hour on what's basically a rocket on wheels, where even the slightest love tap from another car or even slightly mishandled steering can send them careening off the road. And they do. This thing has a crash about midway through that would put these guys to shame. One of the more interesting aspects of the film is how it actually approaches Formula One. At first glance, it's a fantastic commercial for the racing league and will undoubtedly make some new fans. Each race reminds you that the season goes to some of the most beautiful places in the world, the garages and training centers look like spaceships designed by Apple, and every win feels like an elusive, life-changing accomplishment. Remember, Sonny isn't being brought in to try and win a world championship. He just needs his team to win once, and even that feels like an impossible task. And yet the film also keeps the other racers at something of an arm's length. All the big teams are present, and drivers like Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton show up, but none of them get speaking roles or play parts in the film beyond being Sonny and Joshua's opponents. I wouldn't be surprised at all if there was a rule behind the scenes about not making any of the brands look bad by positioning any of them as antagonistic. It's not a huge problem. The film does eventually get a villain, but they're not a driver, and even they play second fiddle to the characters getting over their own personal issues, but by the end it was odd how much the film wants you to know about Formula One without telling you anything about its actual athletes. Also, the film clocks in at more than 2.5 hours, and there's one or two storylines that pop up in the second half that could have been trimmed down. This thing has 10 races to get through, and by the end you're bound to be exhausted. The line I'm already seeing from critics about F1 is that it's about to be your dad's new favorite movie, and that's absolutely accurate. This is the kind of sports movie we used to get all the time, and had it come out in the 90s, Sonny would have been played by Kevin Costner before it was enshrined as a permanent fixture of TNT's weekend lineup. The storyline is by the numbers, but Pitt is just as good as always, and the races are some of the best we've seen on film in years. Is F1 the next Top Gun Maverick? Probably not, but in a summer that's shaping up to be pretty strong, this is definitely one of the highlights. Go take your dad to the nearest IMAX screening and enjoy the ride. I'll see you guys next time.